Oh, isn't it cute when they think they have power over you? They stand in their little corners, whispering their curses, their hate, their little plans to see you fall. So small, so predictable. But you were never the victim of their hate. No, you were the puppet they thought they could pull, the one they thought they could crush. They never saw it coming, did they? They thought they could break you. They thought they could bend you. And then, nothing. You're still here, stronger, wiser, more dangerous. And why? Because while they were busy planting their seeds of malice, you were quietly cultivating your own garden, one where their curses turn to fertilizer, where their hatred turns to growth. Isn't it fascinating how they love to think they control the world around them? They love to point their fingers, whisper curses in dark corners, as if their words have the power to shape your fate. They're so desperate for control, and yet they never realize that the very thing they wish for you, destruction, misery, failure, becomes the thing that pushes you forward. It's the irony of the universe, isn't it? You're thinking they cursed you, aren't you? They tried. They really did. Maybe it came in the form of a lie, or a betrayal, or an insult so sharp it could have cut through steel. They wanted to see you fail, to see you broken and crawling, looking up at the sky and wondering why it all went wrong. They wanted to see you shattered, begging for mercy, hoping for just a sliver of light. But that's not what happened, is it? Instead, the curse they tried to put on you became fuel. You know what they didn't understand? That the world doesn't care for their little games of curse and doom. No, the world bends to the strong, to the ones who can take everything they throw at you and still keep standing tall. Oh, but don't misunderstand me. The pain you felt, the betrayal, the confusion, it wasn't in vain. Not at all. You were meant to feel it. It was all part of the process. The universe isn't here to make it easy for you. No, it's here to test you, to see who can survive the storm. And the storm? You've weathered it. See, the thing about life is this. Everyone has a plan for you. They think they know how to break you, but they never do. They can't. Why? Because you're not like them. You don't break. You don't fold. You're not built for failure. You're built for survival, for adaptation, for growth in the face of everything they throw at you. So, they tried to curse you. They whispered their venom. They cast their shadows over your path. But here's the thing. The universe doesn't hear their cries of hatred. It only hears the echoes of your strength. Their curse? It's just a mere whisper lost in the wind. Let me tell you something about curses. They're only powerful if you let them be. They have no weight, no substance, no ability to shackle you, unless you choose to be shackled by them. And you, my friend, you're not that person. Not anymore. The truth is, their curse was nothing more than a spark in a universe full of storms. You might have felt the heat of it for a moment, but it couldn't burn you. It couldn't touch you. It couldn't keep you down for long, because you understand something that they'll never understand, the power of choice. You get to decide how much weight you're going to carry. You get to decide how much room you give their hate, their venom, their negativity. And guess what? You've decided not to carry it. You've decided it's nothing but empty noise. And what does empty noise do? It fades into the background. It becomes a distant hum, something barely noticeable, easily ignored. But what they don't realize is that every time they try to curse you, Every time they try to tear you apart, they're only building you. Every insult they throw at you is like a stone thrown into your forge, tempering you, strengthening you. Every betrayal is a chisel, shaping you into something better. They're not breaking you, you see. They're building you, molding you into someone more dangerous, more untouchable. Isn't that just beautiful? They try so hard, and yet they never succeed. They're like little children playing with fire, burning themselves, oblivious to the fact that it's you who's learning how to wield it. They curse you, and all you do is rise from the ashes, unscathed. They'll never understand. You'll walk right past them, standing tall and proud, and they'll wonder how it happened. They'll look at you with confusion, with jealousy, with awe, and they'll never grasp what made you so unbreakable. That's the real magic, isn't it? Oh, but that's the fun of it all, isn't it? Watching them try, watching them fail. They never saw it coming. And you, the whole time, quietly watching them stumble, knowing that you're one step ahead, always. Because you know something they don't. You know that every curse they throw at you is just another opportunity, another reason to keep moving forward. They want to see you stumble, but instead, they're just giving you the tools to stand taller. Now, tell me, what's more powerful than that? What's more beautiful than turning their hate into your fuel? What's more satisfying than knowing that no matter what they throw your way, you'll always rise above it? But let me get a little deeper, shall I? Because that's the trick, isn't it? The curse, the pain, the betrayal. It's all part of the process. And you've been through it, haven't you? You've felt the weight, you've taken the hits, you've crawled through the dirt, and now, look at you. Look at what you've become. Not a victim, not a pawn in their little game. No, you're something else now. They thought they could curse you, destroy you. But here you are, standing in the light, stronger, more determined, more powerful than they ever imagined. And they'll never understand why. They'll never see how the curse they gave you was the very thing that made you unbreakable. You see, the world isn't kind to the weak, and there's nothing weaker than those who think they can control the path of another. Their perception of power? It's laughable, really. Like a child holding a match, thinking they can burn the world down, not realizing the fire they've started will consume them in the end. That's the beauty of their attempts. Their attempts to curse you weren't just futile. They were flawed from the very start. Because the universe doesn't deal in the currency of curses. No, it deals in transformation. It's a crucible, not a grave. And when they tried to bury you, they only set the stage for your rebirth. Did you think the curse was the end? Did you think their hateful whispers, their petty attempts at sabotage would mark your downfall? Oh, how wrong they were. What they failed to see, the same thing they always fail to see, is that you are not defined by the hate others try to pour into you. You are not defined by their negativity. You are defined by your response. They've underestimated the power of your response. You didn't break. You didn't crumble. You stood firm in the face of adversity, laughing silently inside, watching them struggle as they threw their tantrums into the void. They thought the storm would swallow you. But what did it do? It only hardened you. It only made you more resilient. Every time they tried to curse you, you grew stronger, more unshakable. It's almost poetic, don't you think? Their attempts to hurt you only fueled the fire inside you. They didn't realize that in trying to destroy you, they were sculpting the perfect weapon, a weapon of defiance, of strength, of quiet rage. Oh, how it must eat away at them, knowing that their efforts did nothing but make you more formidable. The whispers they thought would break your spirit only solidified it. The betrayals they thought would turn you bitter only made you indestructible. They gave you everything you needed without even realizing it. Every small act of cruelty was a gift, wrapped in disguise. And what about those moments, huh? The ones where they thought they had you on your knees. The times when they smiled, thinking victory was within their grasp. The times when the weight of the world seemed just too much to bear. And you thought maybe, just maybe, this would be your breaking point. But you didn't break. You never did. And you never will. It's fascinating when you look back, isn't it? How they tried to destroy you, using the tools they had at their disposal. Guilt, shame, betrayal. The methods are always the same. But what they didn't know, what they'll never know, is that those methods don't work on you. They don't even scratch the surface of who you've become. You see, the people who try to curse you, they're slaves to their own fear. Fear of your power, your potential, your success. They can't fathom the possibility of you rising, of you surpassing them, of you becoming more than what they ever imagined possible. Their attempts to drag you down are simply projections of their own inadequacies. And that's the cruel irony of it all. They wish to see you fail because they can't handle the idea of your success. But all they're doing is pushing you to become something greater. You've already crossed the threshold. You've already stepped into a new dimension of strength, one that is invisible to those who refuse to see it. Their actions, they were never about you. No, no. They were always about them. They couldn't control you. They couldn't bend you to their will. So they tried to manipulate the world around you, thinking they could shape your destiny. But guess what? You are the master of your own fate. They don't realize that, do they? That all their attempts to push you into the dirt have only raised you higher. They wanted you to sink, but you're floating above it all. And now, you walk with a power they could never dream of wielding. It's in the way you carry yourself. It's in your silence. It's in your calm. They'll never understand how they've helped you evolve into this unstoppable force. The truth is, they were always out of their depth. They thought they could break you with their petty games, with their small-minded cruelty. They thought they were the ones in control, but they couldn't see the bigger picture. They couldn't see that all their hatred was only feeding the fire that was growing inside of you. And now they can't touch you. They can't reach you. Do you remember that feeling of hopelessness? Of wondering if you would ever see the light again? Of feeling like the world was against you, and every step forward was met with 2 steps back? They did that. They tried to break your spirit, tried to dim your light, but they couldn't. They didn't understand how resilient you are, how your spirit refuses to yield, how you were always meant for something more. Oh, they didn't break you. They made you. And now you're walking in a path they can't even begin to comprehend. You're a force of nature, an unstoppable tide that can't be turned back. They thought they could throw curses in your way and watch you crumble, but they're the ones left in the dust, unable to keep up with the pace of your evolution. And that's where their curse turned into your blessing. It became the catalyst for everything you were always meant to become. You're not just surviving anymore, you're thriving. You're taking every punch they threw and turning it into something powerful, something beautiful, what they wanted to destroy. You've made unbreakable. Now, here's the funny thing, isn't it? They thought they were cursing you, thought they were trapping you in some kind of dark spell. But in reality, they've only made your rise inevitable. The more they fought against you, the more they ensured you'd stand above them all. It's not just a lesson in survival, it's a lesson in dominance. You've learned how to turn every wound, every scar, into a reminder of your power. They thought they could control your fate, but now you know. Your fate is your own, and they'll never have the power to take that from you. And now we come to the most delicious part of this whole twisted narrative. They thought they could steal your peace, your strength, your power. They believed that by tainting your world, by spewing their venom into your life, they could leave you scarred. But what they failed to see, the part that they'll never see, is the truth about pain. Pain is never a punishment, it's a teacher. Pain doesn't break you, it sharpens you. It cuts away the unnecessary parts of your soul, like a sculptor revealing the statue hidden within the stone. It's the refining fire that turns mere metal into steel. It burns away the weak, the superficial, and leaves behind only what is strong and unyielding. And that's where they made their fatal mistake. They tried to turn you into something they could control, something they could dominate. But all they did was forge you into an unstoppable force. And now they're watching, helpless, as you rise higher than they ever imagined possible. They can't look away. They can't stop you. The harder they tried, the stronger you became. They wanted to curse you, but you've become a storm they can't even begin to understand. Every attack they threw at you only gave you more power to fuel your ascent. You've tapped into something greater, something untouchable, and that's the part that eats them alive. But here's the kicker. Here's the part they'll never grasp. You don't need their approval. You don't need their understanding. They can never see the bigger picture. They're too small, too trapped in their own lives to understand how the universe works. Their curse, it's been flipped on its head, transformed into your greatest gift. And it's not just that you survived it. It's that you've transcended it. You've taken their attempt to bind you and turned it into wings that are now propelling you forward. And that's the beauty of this world, isn't it? How it loves irony. It loves to take the worst of human nature and transform it into something beautiful. It loves to take the worst that's thrown at you and make it the very thing that fuels your rise. The curse was never a curse. It was a test of your will, of your resolve, of your ability to turn nothing into something. A test of your ability to turn rejection, betrayal, and pain into the raw materials needed to create your greatest masterpiece. Think about it. You've watched others crumble under the weight of less, haven't you? They've faced challenges that barely skim the surface of what you've endured, and yet they broke. They couldn't handle it. They couldn't rise above it. But you're not just standing tall, you're standing above it all. The difference is simple. You've never been afraid of the darkness. You've embraced it. You've danced with it. You've made it your ally. And now, as the light breaks through the cracks, you shine with a brilliance that no one can touch. There's something sacred about surviving what was meant to destroy you. Something almost divine. You've been tested by fire. You've been through the furnace, and now you walk as the one who carries the flame. Every time they tried to extinguish your light, all they did was give you more fuel. They handed you the torch, and now you're the one setting the world on fire. And it's not even their fault. They didn't know what they were dealing with. But what's more glorious than their failure is this. They'll watch from the sidelines, forever trapped in their own bitterness, forever questioning how you manage to rise. And you'll just keep moving forward. You'll keep getting stronger. You'll keep becoming more, until the very people who once tried to curse you will see you as something they could never touch. They'll see you as something greater than they could ever dream of. Now let's be clear. The victory is not in their downfall, though that's certainly a sweet touch. The real victory, the true blessing, lies in the fact that you've become something they can never break. The blessing lies in your transformation. It's in the fact that every lie they told, every betrayal they attempted, every ounce of poison they tried to inject into your veins, it all served only to make you who you are today. And who are you today? You are the culmination of everything they threw at you, and you are unbreakable. You see, the universe doesn't make mistakes. It doesn't create victims. It creates warriors. Every trial, every attack, every setback is just part of the preparation, the blueprint, the design. And they've given you everything you needed to ascend to the next level. They thought they were the architects of your downfall, but in reality, they were just tools in the hands of a power greater than them, greater than anything they could understand. And now, let's pause and reflect. How many times have you seen people crumble under pressure? How many times have you watched others, full of potential, bend to the weight of life's unfairness? And then there's you. You've transcended. The same world that tried to bury you has turned you into its ruler. You've walked through fire, through darkness, and yet you remain untouched. You are invincible. Now, the final phase is upon us. This is the part where you realize the truth. The curse wasn't just turned into a blessing, it was elevated. Every battle, every struggle, every time they tried to push you down, you've only been elevated to a higher place. A place where you can't be touched by their petty games. You stand above them, watching as they scream into the void. They can't reach you. They can't touch you. You've become something too powerful, something too transcendent for them to even comprehend. And that's the true curse for them. Because now, they will spend their lives in the shadows of your brilliance. They'll wonder how they couldn't see it, how they couldn't stop it, how their petty actions only paved the way for your ultimate success. They'll know the truth in the depths of their hearts, but it won't matter. The game has already ended, and you're already too far ahead to even care. So, when they try again, when they send their curses, their hate, their negativity in your direction, just smile, and keep walking. Because every step you take, every breath you draw, is a testament to the fact that you can't be broken. You can't be stopped. You've already turned their curse into your blessing. And now, it's time to reign.